right, everyone, time to call your shot.
All right, Jonas, you've said it all season. You're going to be ready. So you went with the Steelers tonight. Olivia and I went the winner, the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not my fault that these teams can't handle the pressure of being a team that I pick on the challenge each week, and then now all of a sudden they're falling apart and melting down in front of your very eyes. It's unfortunate. I think it's a sad tale, but I'll bounce back.
A-Rod melted.
I'll bounce back.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Next Sunday night, another fun one. Lions going to Philly to visit the Eagles. Olivia's taking Philly. Jonas, who do you like?
I'm going to take Philly as well, too. I know it's a short week. They're going to be at Green Bay tomorrow night, but I'll go ahead and I'll take Philly at home against the Lions.
Yeah, Philly's only lost at home one time. That was against a good Broncos team. So I'm going to say Philly wins that one. So we're all going with the Eagles. All right, we'll see how that one goes. All right, that's it for us here at City Walkin'. That is it from SoFi Stadium as well. For Olivia Garvey, for Jonas Knox, I'm Mario Solis. More fun and prizes next Sunday. The Channel 4 News starts right now.
NBC News starts with breaking news.
This is a true crisis.
Waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
Tonight on this special edition of the NBC4 News, the Senate has reached a tentative spending deal, taking a major step, ending the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The deal comes on day 40 of the shutdown, and Americans are feeling the impact from missing paycheck travel disruptions. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathy Vara.
And I'm Kavasik in tonight for Jonathan Gonzalez. Now, even though negotiations are pointing in the right direction, there are still hurdles in the way. And here is what we know about the tentative deal at this hour. It was negotiated by a group of Democrats and Republicans, and it passed by the narrowest of margins at 60-40, and keep 60 is the minimum number of votes needed. 8 Democrats joined all Republicans except Senator Rand Paul voting yes. Notably, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and both California Senators Schiff and Padilla were among those who voted no. Here are the specifics. The deal would fund the government through the end of January. In a concession from Democrats, it would not include an extension of affordable care subsidies. But it does guarantee a vote on by mid-December. Now, in a win for Democrats, it includes a guarantee for SNAP funding through September of next year. The deal would also reinstate thousands of fired government employees and ensure back pay for more than 1 million others.
Despite the deal, there is still some uncertainty and some confusion for millions of Americans who rely on SNAP. NBC4's Camilla Rambo joins us live in the newsroom with what tonight's developments mean for food access. Camilla.
Kathy and Robert, as you mentioned, SNAP, or what's known as CalFresh here in California, would be fully funded through September of next year under that tentative deal. But without a final vote tonight, many are still living in that uncertainty, not knowing when they will be able to put food back on their table. Tonight, the fate of SNAP benefits now in the hands of senators on Capitol Hill. But here at home, the same image we see for weeks. Another food distribution event and another line of people outside this church on South Evergreen Avenue in Boyle Heights. For some, it's not their first time here.
We've definitely seen an increase of people who come and pick food for their neighbors. It seems to be like there's a lot of fear right now.
Food banks and pantries across Southern California have been stepping in to support families until SNAP is restored. Tonight, Democratic senators who helped negotiate the bipartisan tentative deal that could ultimately end the government shutdown say the need is far greater.
Soup kitchens can't fill the gap. Food pantries can't fill the gap.
Waiting another week or another month wouldn't for a better outcome. It would only mean more harm for families in New Hampshire and all across the country.
In the background of the Senate negotiations, a legal battle over SNAP funding. On Friday, the Supreme Court sided with the Trump administration to temporarily block a lower court's order requiring SNAP to be fully funded through November, even though some states had already started distributing the money. Then, yesterday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture ordered those states to immediately undo the payments. It is still unclear how states could take the money sent out back.
This is a bit of a mess in the sense of some states apparently have full funding, some states have partial funding, and there are serious legal questions about what the federal government can ask for the states to return.
And tonight, those questions still front and center. Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson weighing in on what comes next and how soon EBT cards could be reloaded once the shutdown is over.
We just don't know. We are now experiencing the longest shutdown in our nation's history. Even though we've seen reporting that it could take weeks to get the program up and running, after there was a federal judge's order this weekend telling the administration to fully fund the program, there was money that went out almost immediately. So for those relying on the program, hopefully things would move quickly.
Now, here's what's ahead for this tentative deal. A vote is still needed in the Senate. It will then go to the House, which has been in recess since September. President Trump would then ultimately need to sign it, and that all could take some time. It is still unclear how much. We're live in the newsroom. Camilla Rambaldi, NBC4 News. I'll send it back to you.
Camilla, thank you for that. We are also tracking day 3 of cuts at our nation's largest airports because of the shutdown. And today we are learning that even if a deal is reached soon, it will take time for operations to return to normal. Thousands of flights were canceled today across the country, including many right here at LAX. Our Macy Jenkins talked with passengers there about their flight status.
First comes relief to hear the 40-day shutdown could finally be coming to an end. Then comes the question, how fast can airports bounce back? Well, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it won't be right away, meaning cancellations and delays could still go on for the time being. Here at LAX, Zarita Abbott is checked in and destined for Maui.
I was really happy to see I wasn't canceled.
But amidst thousands of last-minute changes to flight schedules across the country, she's worried this vacation isn't yet a sure thing.
I've been before at the gate and seen it come on, it's canceled, so I don't count it until I'm actually on the plane.
More than 2,000 flights canceled Sunday and more than 8,000 delays on the third consecutive day of the FAA mandated cuts at 40 major U.S. airports, including LAX. But signs of hope coming out of Washington Sunday as a procedural vote passes in the Senate, taking us one step closer to ending the nation's longest government shutdown. On Friday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy addressed next steps in the event of a resolution.
If the government opens on day 1, will I see an immediate response from controllers? No, the union is telling me it's going to take time to get them all back in.
Here's travel expert Gabe Saglier.
What do you make of all of this?
All right, so very annoying. Very frustrating and very concerning. If that's true, then the projections are that we could be seeing a really tight squeeze here as we head toward the holiday season.
The chaos alone, he predicts, is enough to sway many to skip this year's trip.
Perhaps Thanksgiving would be a great time to host dinner at home instead of having to go somewhere else.
But for those determined to hit the skies, here's some advice. Try to book the first flight of the day. Ditch the checked luggage and travel with a carry-on. Upgrade for refundable fares. Choose nonstop flights, and if you can, book a backup flight.
So I think a lot of airlines are playing ball here. They're loosening their restrictions, and that's good news for the traveling public.
For Eric Nelson, the flight from New Jersey to LA was only the beginning.
I have 2 weeks off of work, and it's one of those situations where you're like, let's do something awesome, and then you're like, oh my God, we booked 6 flights in 14 days.
Here's hoping the next 5 take off as scheduled.
We were feeling a little crazy, but it's been going smooth, I have to admit, and we have no delays, so we're really happy.
This morning, before hearing the news of a possible deal in the Senate, Secretary Duffy warned that in the 2 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, we're going to see air travel reduced to a trickle. Now, it's unclear how or if a deal would impact that timeline, but just to be clear, Thanksgiving is less than 3 weeks away. Reporting at LAX tonight, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
We'll continue to follow the latest developments on the government shutdown and the deal to end it on the NBC4 News and on the NBC LA app. Right now, we have live updates on flight cancellations as well as a list of food banks. Just download the app or go to NBCLA.com.
Other news we're following right now. USC Public Safety warning students about a man posing as a building management who is trying to get into their apartment. Officials, this man has been trying to get into off-campus housing by saying he needs to make repairs. Then they say he's been asking students inappropriate personal questions, including about their romantic relationships. And in one case, they say he took a key fob to a resident's car before returning it. Officials are urging students to verify someone's credentials before they let them in.
Turning now to the weather, the heat this weekend specifically because we did reach some records. Meteorologist Kelly Moody is here to tell us about the numbers and also what's ahead for tomorrow. Kelly?
More heat, Kathy. We'll see if we break any more of these records. Woodland Hills, we saw a daytime high of 97 degrees. That beat out the previous record of 94 degrees that was set back in 1956. Palm Springs also breaking records at 95 degrees. Lake Elsinore tied a record with 92 degrees. That one was set also back in 1956. Right now, your temperatures are starting to cool, but we're still holding on to 70s for Ontario and Riverside. At least it's a comfortable evening. That's what you get when you have some of these warmer daytime highs. You get a nice night, but we are looking ahead at tomorrow, and we expect our temperatures to be starting off the work week again in the 90s for spots like Riverside, upper 80s by the time we make it to Tuesday. Wednesday, back to what we consider average, and we'll continue with that cool down after that. Plus, we're going to throw some rain into the mix, and I've got some new details on that you won't want to miss. That'll be coming up in the next few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. We'll see you then. And still ahead for us tonight, how NBC